Apparently, in America, you don't have the right to exercise your rights without getting hassled by bozos like this right here.
You know it's a felony, right?
It's a felony? Uh-oh. I guess I'm in trouble. Probably why
we need to make sure that you're not trying to record FAA patterns in terms of who's coming in or out of the facility and that kind of stuff. Here's the deal, okay? So here's the deal, all right? I don't really understand what you're doing, okay? Because I told you I don't want you monitoring traffic patterns coming in and out of the FAA. I'm out here because this is suspicious and is causing alarm to the people inside the facility.
It is none of your business what I am doing.
Now you're being detained because I need to dispel my concern about what you're doing here.
Why am I being detained, sir?
Suspicious activity.
You are incorrect.
I'm not. So here's the deal, all right?
Am I being detained?
Yes, you are. Yep.
For what crime?
I told you suspicious activity.
Sir, you just threatened me with criminal trespass.
This video comes to us from a channel that doesn't look like it exists anymore. The name of the channel is Granite State Transparency. Granite State Transparency is standing on a public sidewalk filming an FAA facility, which is not illegal. As a matter of fact, that activity is supposed to be protected by the supreme law of the land, the First Amendment, and that's under the freedom of the press. But apparently, this security guard, who ends up calling a police officer, doesn't agree.
Hey, go! I'll fix you.
Sorry? Sorry, I can't hear you.
This is a federal facility. You can't take a picture of a federal facility, ma'am.
Is that a law?
Yes, it is, ma'am.
What law is that?
I just told you what it was. It's a federal law. Do you have an ID on you?
Why do I need an ID? Are you a law enforcement officer?
Yes. What do I look like?
You look like a security.
It's a federal law. I just told you what it is. Well, sorry if I'm a little ignorant on specifically which one you were talking about, because there's like 72,000 of them in the federal code. And I'd like to point out at this juncture that the more laws we have, the less freedoms we have.
Security guard.
Oh, okay. Is that what you think? All right, I'll have the police right here in a minute.
So basically, he's implying that he's a police officer. She challenges him on that. He gets his feelings hurt, and then he goes, well, I'll call a real cop then.
You know it's a felony, right?
It's a felony? Uh-oh. I guess I'm in trouble.
This Oliver Anthony looking dude wants to get this lady to believe that she's committing a felony by exercising her First Amendment right.
I've been selling my soul, working all day.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it, Oliver? If you really were working all day, you wouldn't have time to harass cameramen or women.
And then he said he would call the police. So I just figured I'd stick around. I didn't want to waste your time, driving around looking for me.
What's the purpose of your recording?
For public use, for public publishment.
What are you recording specifically?
The FAA.
What about that?
Just public interest.
What kind of public interest?
Well, it's the FAA.
So it's obviously a secure facility, and with global and domestic international terrorism, what kind of concern your behavior might elicit, okay?
I understand.
The presence of global, international, or local terrorism will never trump individual rights.
And that's probably why
we need to make sure that you're not trying to record FAA patterns in terms of who's coming in or out of the facility and that kind of stuff. It's security issues, okay? So that's why they're stopping you.
I understand that.
So if you can justify to me that you're legitimately recording for public use, I don't know what public are you part of a blog or what?
You have to prove to me that you can actually stand out here in America on American soil as an American and express the constitutionally protected rights that I swore to protect.
And serve. Oh boy, I need another donut.
Well, I understand that's probably why he's concerned. May I ask you this? Are you aware of the 2010 or 2018 DHS memo that makes it perfectly legal for any photographer to video record or photograph a federal facility from a public spot.
Man, we should not have to pull that rabbit out of the hat. Either the First Amendment is the supreme law of the land or it's not. You don't need a law above the supreme law of the land saying, hey, oh, by the way, we just need to refresh all the law enforcement tyrants out there that it's perfectly legal to exercise your First Amendment right.
No, can you show that to me?
I don't have a copy of it with me. You can do a Google search.
So are you just out here to kind of prove that point, or are you out here for a legitimate purpose? I don't really understand what you're doing, okay? Because I told you I don't want you monitoring traffic patterns coming in and out of the FAA. Hold on, let me finish, okay?
Sure.
Let me finish, okay? And I get that.
Okay, go ahead.
But I'm not just a person with a gun. I'm.
May I ask you a question?
Sure.
Am I breaking any laws?
I'm out here because this is suspicious and is causing alarm to the people inside the facility.
May I also say that it is not your...
Ma'am, I will have you know I am not just a person with a gun. I'm pretty much close to the Almighty. I pretty much rule this universe around here, and you need to comply with my authority.
concern what my business is for photographing. It is none of your business what I am doing in public as long as a lawful act.
Okay. It is my business. As a matter of fact, my job is to make sure that my business is involved in your business. And my business is, what is your business?
I understand what you're trying to do out here today, and I can appreciate that, all right? The issue is, it is my job, and it is
not only can I appreciate that, I'm going to trample it.
My concern, because I need to maintain the safety of the facility. It's an FAA facility. You're aware of that. You're aware that it's a secure facility, okay? So that is my job, because
it's so secure that we have satellite imagery, updated satellite imagery, and there are actually apps that show the comings and goings of every aircraft and helicopter, everything that goes in and out of that place. And we got the Google car on the streets taking 360 photographs and live video of the outside of this FAA facility. Boy, I really do need that donut, don't I?
As you and I both know, and I'll just be blunt about it, okay? Terrorism, okay? It's a huge thing. It's a huge, huge issue these days, okay? And
I totally agree. Terrorism is a huge thing, Mr. Officer D. Weiss. As a matter of fact, it's such a huge thing that this lady with the camera is now being confronted by one of the premier domestic terrorists of our time, American law enforcement.
You out here?
Can I?
Hold on, no, I let you finish.
Well, let me interject, because when was the last time that we were attacked by a terrorist attack?
You mean the last time I attacked? So, okay, last time we were attacked. You mean apart from me and my fellow Thin Blue Line gang members attacking Americans for upholding their rights? You mean international terror, like towelhead terrorism? I don't really know.
I could go check dates, okay?
Well, when you do that, go check the 2018 DHS memo that says you must approach me in a polite and respectful manner, and the act of photography is not a reason to initiate a, if you will, a Terry interview. You can.
It is.
No, it is not. It
so here's
clearly
the deal, okay?
states you can initiate a consent.
We have a channel subscribe. Here's the deal. We're going to find out what the deal is.
Conversation.
Which I did.
And I can walk away at any point.
Well, no, now you're being detained because I need to dispel.
Photography cannot be used.
You and I are going to go around in a circle.
No,
okay?
sir. Please let me
Could
finish.
I have your ID?
I don't have an ID.
You don't have an ID?
No.
Okay. Can you give me your name?
No.
You're not going to give me your name?
No, because photography cannot be used.
Are you from around here?
Sir.
Yeah.
Are you a sergeant, sir?
No.
Could I please...
She should have pulled out a D and said, I got my D, but I'm an I short. Kind of like Dan Crenshaw. Eye Patch McCain.
request a sergeant, because with all due respect, you are incorrect.
I'm not.
Yes, sir.
No. What am I incorrect about?
About the fact that photography can be used as suspicion of a crime.
So here's the deal, all right? I don't know what you're...
Oh boy, he said it again. He's a Thupa channel member.
So here's the deal, all right? I don't know what you're
It's
telling
none
me.
of your business what I'm doing.
It is. Okay.
I'm in public photographing.
Yep.
I've told you I'm an independent journalist. I am photographing.
Do you have any documentation? Do you have anything that you can
I don't
show me
need
that
to.
proves? You don't need to. You do.
No, I don't.
You do.
The First Amendment says I don't, sir.
Okay. Perfect. Just sit here, okay? I'm going to talk to this officer.
Am I being detained?
Yes, you are. Yep.
For what crime?
I told you suspicious activity. I need to dispel my
What is
concerns
this suspicious activity?
I already told you. You're
Could you-
here. Are you going to let me talk without interjecting? Come on over here. We'll go to the front of the car right here.
I don't want to trespass, sir.
Nope, you're with a police officer.
I don't want to
Okay.
trespass.
Can you see how important this is? Imagine losing your rights every time an officer approaches you and says, hey, I have concerns about you and I need to dispel my concerns. And the only way that my concerns can be dispelled is if you move away from your rights and hand them over to me. Don't worry, you can trust me. I'm a law enforcement official.
So you're gonna make my life harder by having to hold the book up here, huh?
Sir,
It was a joke.
you just threatened me with criminal trespass. I do not want
Probation
to
parole
joke.
and national dispatch.
It wasn't a threat. I don't threat. I'm just stating what the law is. A person is guilty of
So
criminal
give a
trespass
unit over to
if, knowing that she is not licensed or
23A
privileged to do
Alpha
so, he enters or
Amherst
remains in any
Street,
place. Criminal
for,
trespass is a misdemeanor for the
multiple,
offense if the person knowingly or recklessly causes damage, which that's not what you're doing here. Criminal trespass is a misdemeanor if the trespass takes place in an occupied structure as defined in RSA 631(1)(3), or the person knowingly enters or remains in any secure premise in any place in defiance of an order to leave or not to enter, which was personally communicated to him by the owner of the authorized persons, or in any place in defiance of any court order restraining him from entering such place, so as long as he has been properly notified of such order. All other criminal trespass is a violation. In this section, secure premise means any place which is posted in a manner prescribed by law or in a manner reasonably likely to come to the attention of intruders, or which is fenced or otherwise enclosed in a manner designed to exclude intruders. Okay?
Okay.
It's posted on a fence. It says U.S. government property, no trespassing.
Do you know?
So, in accordance to 635(2), criminal trespass, it's a secure premise, okay? In violation
Yes.
of the order which is clearly posted.
Past the public easement.
I think at the point where he stuttered, he realized, wow, nothing that I read here applies to this woman. She's on a public sidewalk in a public place that is accessible to everybody. So she's outside of the purview of everything that I just read. But his pride won't let him go there. His pride won't let him apologize. You know what, ma'am? You're right. And I should have known this without bringing out my code book. I should have known what the first freedom of the press, man. That's what I'm here for. That's the whole reason I got into this profession, so I could protect people who are doing what you're doing.
Do you know what the public easement is? Because I do.
What is it?
The road is 50 feet wide.
Yep.
So from the center of the road, it's 25 feet. Do you want to measure?
So you're telling me that beyond that sidewalk up to the fence is not their property?
I am telling you that from the center of this road, if you measure 25 feet, that is the public easement.
We're going to find out where their property lines begin. Okay, and if you were in defiance of that order, we might have a criminal trespass, okay?
And he's saying this in the context of he already knows that he's wrong. The code book that he brought out that he thought she was guilty under proved to be, hey, she's not guilty. She's innocent. And in fact, not only is she innocent, she is out here engaged in an activity that I should be protecting.
Okay, so just hang tight. Watch your back. I don't want to see you get biked out. Things out because we're dealing with local and then federal laws. So we're just trying to figure out, see what's going on, right?
We're just trying to figure out. It's just like, hey, you got one of two choices. Here's the deal. We're just trying to figure out. You're not detained. You're not arrested. You're just being detained. Those are words that come out of the mouths of tyrants when they're exacting tyranny on you.
Sorry.
What's she trying to do?
Just looking for directions. She has to have an iPhone.
So
Let's be honest.
So I checked with them,
Yep.
okay, and you're right. They said that you did not pass that, okay?
Okay.
That's what we had to determine.
Okay.
They're telling me that there is possible federal law that says you can't videotape a federal facility. I don't know that.
All right, so this says female also required, and that's this Officer Weiss writing up this report. Female also requested the presence of a supervisor throughout our conversation And as a result, I contacted Street Supervisor Sergeant Medeiros and notified him about the situation at hand. While speaking with Sergeant Medeiros, we both agreed that the female subject was within her rights to photograph, record the facility as long as she was not engaged in readily apparent criminal activity and only doing so on public property.
So what I would like to do, again, I understand what you're trying to do, and I can appreciate that, okay? But you obviously got to understand at the end of the day, I got to do my job too, okay? So what I would ask, all right, to make sure that this isn't like a prowling or a federal offense, like I told you, I got to document this.
You got to understand, I got to do my job too. And my job is to extract your rights, not to protect them.
Okay, and if you're doing nothing wrong, then great, okay? Would you be able to give me your name so I can just properly document this? That way, if you're doing nothing wrong, it'll reflect that, and then we can just go about our way.
Now he's virtually begging, and it's embarrassing. Says entering and exiting the facility as well as examining security features within the facility. A short time later, I was advised by Miss Park, and that's the FAA supervisor within the fence, not outside the fence, that it did not appear as though the female subject had violated any federal rules or regulations. However, the federal government requested the Nashua Police Department assistance in identifying the female subject if possible. I was also informed that this particular FAA facility hub is responsible for controlling the majority of air traffic in the Northeast and was directly involved in the incidents on September 11th, 2001, making it a particular location of concern. Particular locations of concern don't trump individual rights. Terrorist activities in other parts of the countries on significant dates don't trump individual rights. So he's basically cop-splaining right here at this point. Concern when dealing with the possibility of someone conducting terrorist reconnaissance activity at the facility outside the front gate.
Because, like I said, I'm trying to wrap my head around all this as well.
Right.
And if you, like they said, you were on
The easement.
Yes. Well, no, you were off the easement, so you're good. Well,
I was on
let
the
me
public
rephrase.
easement.
You were on the public easement.
Correct.
You're not on their property. So we're good there. They're trying to figure out if there's like a federal law or something like that that's going on. Okay. So
just stay here because you may still be, now you're clear on everything that we talked about, but stay here because I may still have to put hands on you if they determine that you're not clear.
Obviously, as long as you stay on the public property,
Yep.
you're fine, okay? As
Yes.
of right now.
Oh, a directive. Oh, thanks. Thanks for letting me know that I'm fine, officer.
They're their own federal regulations, rules and regulations, so that's what they're trying to uphold.
Right.
If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you're not doing anything wrong, what I would like to do is I'd like to document that. One, it proves your point, and it satisfies what you're trying to do.
Hey, help me prove your point. Give me your ID.
It's more
No, her point is that she's an American. Her point is that she can rest on and exercise her freedom as an American without being harassed by tyrant cops like you.
credence to your cause, okay?
Yep.
Because you can go get a copy of the report right in the police department. I'm not trying to set you up for failure. I'm just trying to document what's going on here today, okay?
That's all I'm doing. As I continued to converse with the female, I grew concerned that the true intent behind her presence had nothing to do with her sincere interest in the facility, but instead that she was trying to use this facade to provoke a heightened response disturbance from staff members at the facility or from local or federal law enforcement officers who responded to inquire about what she was doing there. I also grew increasingly concerned that she may have even been trying to gauge and record how the facility responded to various security threats or issues, whether terror related or not. Either way, what she was failing to realize, and what I quickly took visible note of, that her behavior had now garnered the attention of the facility's security staff, which in turn pulled them away from performing other necessary security functions around the site. So what pulled them away? Exercising a First Amendment protected activity. That's what pulled them away, which isn't a crime. So it's their fault that they let themselves be pulled away for a lady who was not only doing nothing wrong, but she was actually exercising her rights and the rights of others on behalf of all Americans. Her behavior had also pulled the facility's air traffic control manager, Tara Park, away from her very important duties prompted the notification about the incident to the FAA's headquarters down in Washington, D.C., effectively pulling those individuals away from their other duties. Wow, this lady's got some crazy power as she exercises her rights, and caused those who entered and exited the facility to become distracted and concerned by the police presence, effectively slowing down the orderly flow of traffic in and out of the facility. And nobody would have had to been distracted by the presence of law enforcement if this guy just went up there and took 30 seconds to determine what was going on and that what she was doing was constitutionally protected. Nobody would have been disturbed. I then returned to my vehicle and was about to clear from the call when I observed the same suspicious female from this incident walking down Henry David Drive and then quickly duck and disappear into the wood line that separates Henry David Drive from the Canterbury Apartments on Congress Street. This odd behavior sparked my concerns once more about her agenda, because it appeared as though she was now going out of her way to not only conceal her identity from me, but also where she intended to egress to after leaving the FAA facility did not make any sense to my why someone would go through such great efforts to conceal themselves from law enforcement if they legitimately believe that they had done nothing wrong and had been acting in a lawful manner. As a result, I quickly drove down Henry David Drive to see if there was a clear-cut path that maybe the female had simply taken to shorten her walk. However, I observed no such path and only thick brush.
Officer Weiss didn't merely observe me walking down Henry David Drive. He followed me the half mile and then another 1,000 feet down to where it cut into the parking lot of my apartment building.
So Officer Weiss was stalking a woman who was engaged in First Amendment activity.
Hey there. I told you I wasn't hard to find.
What's that?
I told you I wasn't hard to find.
Nope. What's going on?
Did you get a call out here just following me?
Nope, so this is my area of the city that I patrol.
Oh, just a coincidence.
Must be, yeah. You can tell me where you live, I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right.
Alrighty?
Well, you have a good night.
Thanks.
So according to his own report, he just lied to her about why he was there. Man, good job keeping calm from Granite State Transparency. I don't know why the channel doesn't exist anymore, but it looked like she was doing a really good job. She kept her cool. She stood firm on her rights and did not back down. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought, please, in the comments section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell notification icon. Give it a thumbs up. Share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. If you want to support the channel further, the links are in the description. Grab a shirt, become a channel member. But the huge takeaway from this and every video is that the price of freedom is now and will always be eternal vigilance, and indifference to this notion is the means by which the people have and will secure their own oppression. I will see you in the next video.